Good morning, dear students. Now we see Standard 9th Science Unit 6 Light. Light is a form of energy which travels as electromagnetic waves. A branch of physics that deals with the properties and application of light is called optics. In our day-to-day life, we use number of optical instruments. Microscopes are inevitable in science laboratories. Telescopes, binoculars, camera, and projectors are used in educational, scientific, and entertainment field. In this lesson, we will learn about spherical mirrors, properties of light, refraction, and their applications. Now we see about reflection of light. Light falling on any body surface such as mirror that is reflected, that is known as reflection of light. Now we saw the laws of reflection. Consider a plane mirror M dash as shown in the slide. Let AO be the light ray incident on the plane mirror at O. The ray AO is called as incident ray. The plane mirror reflects the incident ray along OB. The ray OB is called as reflected ray. Draw a line ON at O perpendicular to M dash. This line ON is called normal. The angle made by the incident ray with the normal, that is called as the angle of incidence. The reflected ray OB makes an angle with the normal, and this is called angle of reflection. From this figure, you can observe that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. The incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. These are called as the laws of reflection. We saw the laws of reflection. The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Next we see about the lateral inversion. You might have heard about inversion. What is lateral inversion? The word lateral comes from the Latin word latus, which means side. Lateral inversion means sidewise inversion. It is the apparent inversion of left and right that occurs in the plane mirror. Why do plane mirrors reverse left and right, but they do not reverse up and down? Well, the answer is surprising. Mirrors do not actually reverse left and right, and they do not reverse up and down also. What actually mirrors do it reverse inside out? Look at the image and observe the arrows which indicate the light ray from the object falling on the mirror. The arrow from the object's head is directed towards the top of the mirror, and the arrow from the feet is directed towards the bottom. The arrow from the left hand goes to the left side of the mirror, and the arrow from the right hand goes to the right side of the mirror. Here you can see that there is no switching. It is an optical illusion. Thus, the apparent lateral inversion we observe is not caused by the mirror, but the result of our perception. Okay, now we see about the real and virtual image. If the light rays coming from an object actually meet after reflection, the image formed will be a real image, and it is always inverted. A real image can be produced on a screen. When the light rays coming from an object do not actually meet but appear to meet when produced backwards, the image will be virtual image. The virtual image is always erect and cannot be caught on a screen. Now we see about curved mirrors. We studied about laws of reflection. These laws are applicable to all types of reflecting surfaces including curved surfaces. In your earlier classes, we have studied that there are many types of curved mirrors such as spherical and parabolic mirrors. The most commonly used type of curved mirror is spherical mirror. Now we see about the spherical mirror. In curved mirrors, the reflecting surface can be considered to form a part of the surface of a sphere. Such mirror whose reflecting surfaces are spherical, that is called as the spherical mirrors. Here we see the image formed by spherical mirrors. We saw that the parallel rays of sunlight could be focused at a point using a concave mirror. Now let us place a lighted candle and a white screen in front of the concave mirror. Adjust the position of the screen. Move the screen front and back. Note the size of the image and its shape. You can see a small and inverted image. We see about the rules of the construction of image. To find out the position and nature of the image formed by the spherical mirror, we need to know the following rules. We see the first rule, rule 1. A ray passing through the center of the curvature is reflected back along its own path. Now the next rule, a ray parallel to the principal axis that passes through or appears to the coming from the principal focus after the reflection. Rule 3. A ray passing through the focus gets reflected and travels parallel to the principal axis. The last rule is a ray incident at the pole of the mirror gets reflected along the path such as angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Now we see about the concave mirror. We shall now find the position, size and the nature of image by drawing the ray diagram for a small linear object placed on the principal axis of a concave mirror at different position. Now we see the first case 1. When the object is far away, the rays of light reaching the concave mirror are parallel to each other. Here the position of the image is formed at the principal focus. Nature of the image is real, inverted and highly diminishable. In the next case, when the object is beyond the center of the curvature, the position of the image is between the principal focus F and the center of the curvature C. Nature of the image is real, inverted and smaller than object. In the next case, when the object is at the center of the curvature, the position of the image is at the center of the curvature itself, and the nature of the image is real, inverted and same size as the object. In the fourth case, when the object is between the center of curvature and the principal focus, the position of image is beyond C. Nature of the image is real, inverted and magnified. When the object is at principal focus F, nature of the image is no image can be captured on the screen nor any virtual image can be seen. In this case 6, when the object is in between the focus F and the pole P, the position of the image is behind the mirror. The nature of the image is virtual, erect and magnified. Now we see the sign conversion for the measurement of distances. We follow a set of sign conventions that is called as Cartesian sign convention to measure the distance in a ray diagram. In this convention, the pole of the mirror is taken as origin. The principal axis is taken as x-axis of the coordinate system. Here the object is always placed on the left side of the mirror. All distances are measured from the pole of the mirror. Distances measured in the direction of incident light are taken as positive, and those measured in the opposite direction are taken as negative. All distances measured perpendicular to the above the principal axis are considered to be positive. All distances measured perpendicular to and below the principal axis are considered to be negative. Now you see the mirror equation. The expression relating the distance of the object, distance of image, and the focal length of a spherical mirror is called mirror equation. That is 1 by f that is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by v. Next one is linear magnification. Magnification produced by a spherical mirror gives how many times the image of an object is magnified with respect to the object size. It can be defined as the ratio of the height of the image to the height of the object. That is equal to m equal to hi divided by ho. The magnification can be related to object distance and the image distance. That is m equal to minus v by u. Therefore, m equal to hi by ho, that is equal to minus v by u. Now we see the next one, uses of concave mirror. Dentist head mirror. In dentist head mirror, a parallel beam of light is made to fall on the concave mirror. This mirror focuses the light beam on a small area of the body, such as teeth, throat, etc. Makeup mirror. When a concave mirror is held near the face, an upright and magnified image is seen. Here our face will be seen magnified. Other applications for concave mirrors are also used as reflector in torches, headlights in vehicles, and searchlights to get powerful beams of light. Large concave mirrors are used in solar heaters. We see the next chapter, convex mirror. Any two rays can be chosen to draw the position of image in a convex mirror. A ray that is parallel to the principal axis and the ray that appears to pass through the center of the curvature. The ray OA parallel to the principal axis is reflected along AD. The ray OB retracts its path. The two reflected rays diverge, but they appear to intersect at I when produced backwards. Thus I and I dash is the image of the object O dash. It is visual, erect, and smaller than the object. Now we see the uses of the mirrors. Convex mirrors are installed on public roads as traffic safety devices. They are used in acute bends of narrow roads such as hairpin bends in mountain passes where direct view of oncoming vehicles is restricted. It is also used in blind spots in shops. Now we see the speed of light. In the early 17th century, the Italian scientist Galileo Galilei tried to measure the speed of light. In 1665, the Danish astronomer first estimated the speed of light by observing one of the 12 moons of the planet Jupiter. He estimated the speed of light to be about 2,20,000 km per second. In 1849, the first land-based estimate was made by Orman Fizz. Today, the speed of the light in vacuum is known as almost exactly 3 lakhs kilometer per second. Now we see the refraction of light. For example, put a straight pencil into the tank of water or beaker of water at an angle of 45 degree and look at it from one side and above. How does the pencil look now? The pencil appears to be bent at the surface of water. This activity explains the refraction of light. The bending of light rays when they pass obliquely from one medium to another medium, that is called as the refraction of light. Now you see the refraction of light from a plain transparent surface. When a ray of light travels from optically rarer medium to optically denser medium, it bends towards the normal. When a ray light travels from an optically denser medium to an optically rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. A ray of light incident normally on a denser medium goes without any deviation. And we see the laws of refraction of light. The incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal to the interface of two transparent media at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. The ratio of the sine of angle of an incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is the constant for light of given color and for the given pair of media. If I is the angle of incidence and R is the angle of refraction, then the sine I by sine R, that is equal to constant. This constant is called as the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. It is generally represented by the Greek letter 1 mu 2. Here nu equal to speed of light in vacuum or R, that is divided by speed of light in the medium. Generally 1 mu 2, that is equal to speed of light in medium 1 divided by speed of light in medium 2. Now we see the total internal reflection. When light travels from denser medium into rarer medium, it gets refracted away from the normal. While the angle of incidence in the denser medium increases, the angle of refraction also increases, and it reaches the maximum value of R equal to 90 degree for a particular value. This angle of incidence is called critical angle. The angle of incidence at which the angle of refraction is 90 degree, that is called as critical angle. At this angle, the refracted ray grazes the surface of separation between the two media. When the angle of incidence exceeds the value of critical angle, the refracted ray is not possible. Since R greater than 90 degree, the ray is totally reflected back to the same medium. This is called total internal reflection. Now we see the conditions to achieve total internal reflection. Light must travel from denser medium to rarer medium, and the second condition is the angle of incidence inside the denser medium must be greater than that of the critical angle. Now we see the total internal reflection in nature. First one is mirage. On hot summer days, patch of water may be on the road. This is an illusion. In summer, the air near the ground becomes hotter than the air at higher levels. Hotter air is less dense and has smaller refractive index than the cooler air. This ray of light bends away from the normal and undergoes total internal reflection. Total internal reflection is the main cause for the spectacular brilliance of diamonds and twinkling of stars. And the next total internal reflection is optical fiber. Optical fiber or bundles of high quality composite glass or quartz fibers. Each fiber consists of a core and cladding. The refractive index of the material of the core is higher than that of the cladding. Optical fiber work on the phenomenon of total internal reflection. When a signal in the form of light is directed at one end of the fiber at a suitable angle, it undergoes repeated total internal reflection along the length of the fiber and finally comes out at the other hand. Thank you, students.